Daily Hustle. Soy Enrique Byrnes y presidente de mejor cerveza. No Abate por No Filter Network. Will the Thrill Clark y Miguelito San Dieguito. Not here with us today. But as we do per usual, we salute our boys as well as each and every one of you. Yes, 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 yes. Whew. Remember this, folks. When you are juiceful, you are useful. And when you are juiceless, you are fucking useless. It's as simple as that. A very pleasant good morning to you on the 21st day of February 2024. This is day number 21 of the 22-day challenge that concludes tomorrow. But make no mistake about it. For those who participated, yes, you see the bling hanging from my neck. This is Flippy, our dude. This is your finisher medal. Go to ericbyrnes.com now to order. Look, if you didn't complete the whole challenge, I don't give a shit. I didn't complete the whole challenge. I've been coming up short on my miles. I've been like 18 a day. Life gets in the way, coaching baseball and everything else. So 22 was the goal. Now, I'll give you guys who are joining us a little preview of what's to come tomorrow. I don't feel bad about coming up short on my mileage, which was supposed to be 22 a day, because tomorrow I'm going 48. So, yes, I realize it's not my birthday, but these are birthday miles. It is within a week of my birthday. So we had to plan it meticulously to be able to be home, be here, have the treadmill, have all the accoutrements and everything else, and then not have to coach 3 baseball games in a day or whatever else that is. So that will be tomorrow on the final day of the Daily Hustle 22-day challenge. So I will, I think, more than make up for whatever miles that I have missed. The thing around my waist, if you're wondering, it's a onesie. At 9 o'clock, so this is in approximately 14 minutes, I'm done here. The mountains are calling. We have a decent amount of fresh powder on the ground. It's tough for me to tell because I haven't been here, so I don't know what got skied off yesterday, but I sure as shit is going to find out. So at 9 a.m., I'm going to try to get some first tracks up there and go ahead and see what that looks like. Follow online for story time that I will be posting to give you the latest powder update. All right, Bet Online continues to be your number one source for all your basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops throughout the year. With up-to-the-minute odds, stats, and trends, you can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting contests and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop or mobile device. Head to Bet Online today to become part of the team. And remember to use the promo code BLEAV, capital B-L-E-A-V, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online. The game starts here. And don't forget about our proud partners at KT Tape. You see the QR code in my upper left-hand corner, your right-hand corner. Hit that QR code for all the latest deals. I had KT Tape on my hip yesterday as I drove back up to Tahoe through a snowstorm. And for whatever reason, it's only when I drive that my hip bothers me. I could be sleeping in bed at night, no problem. I'm running, no problem. Hiking, boarding, playing pickle, no issues. But when I'm driving, for whatever reason, I don't know if it cuts off the blood circulation to my hip or what, it bothers me. Yesterday, I'm driving home, 5 hours in the car because of all of the traffic and the snow and everything else, and it didn't fucking hurt once. Incredible. Just put one strip across here. I could feel it just the slightest bit, but it was like, it's that threshold where you kind of feel it and then it kind of starts to hurt. At no point in the entire drive did it ever bother me. I'm a huge believer of KT Tape. So go ahead and get yourself some of that. It lifts the skin, promotes blood flow to the area, increases that circulation, decreases inflammation, and typically alleviates pain. And after spending the weekend with our dude, Jory, don't forget about the Verge. That's right. This is lemon, cannabis, honey. I'm pulling out a bunch of empties. I'm not looking for empties. All rolled up into one. You're looking for heightened focus, concentration, whatever else. Jory, we salute you. Per usual, very soothing on the throat. And lastly here, let's not forget about the Let Them Play, a parenting and coaching guide to youth sports book, now available at ericbyrnes.com. And that is the exact same place where you'll be able to get Flippy. That's right. Flippy is finally here. Click above. Pick to order the little F-stick figure. We put them up on ericbyrnes.com yesterday in less than 24 hours. We are very close to selling out. That's no joke. I couldn't believe it. The orders started rushing in, and Amanda, who does the fulfillment, she doesn't have them yet. We have them here. I told Tara, I'm like, let's just send them out from here. What does it matter? She's like, well, if they order a book and they order all the other stuff. So we are rush ordering those down to Amanda Panda today, and they should be out in a hurry. I do have a personal stash saved for the Daily Hustle Challenge participants, so let me know if you have any issues ordering, and we will get you dialed in. Today's challenge, day 21. Quote, my loyalty to country and team is beyond reproach. I humbly serve as a guardian of my fellow Americans, always ready to defend those who are unable to defend themselves. I do not advertise the nature of my work nor seek recognition for my actions. I voluntarily accept the inherent hazards of my profession, placing the welfare and security of others before my own. Navy SEAL Creed. Lieutenant Michael P. Murphy is a Navy SEAL who was killed in action in Afghanistan in 2005 after exposing himself to enemy fire in an effort to get a clear radio signal to reach Allied forces during a desperate battle against Taliban troops. Murph made the radio call while getting riddled with bullets and ended the call with, thank you, while returning fire until he took his last breath. Needless to say, Murph is an iconic legend who selflessly sacrificed his life to save others, and he is as decorated of a military officer as they come. He has a ship, a school, and even a workout named after him. The workout was Murph's favorite and consists of a 1 mile run, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats, and a final 1 mile run. The pull-ups, push-ups, and air squats can all be scaled if needed. Daily Hustle. Day 21 challenge, of course, the Murph. Tips and tricks. Run the first mile and then break up the pull-ups into sets of 10, push-ups into sets of 20, and air squats into sets of 30. Do 10 sets of each. Run the last mile, and we are done. Pull-ups will be the hardest for most people to get through, so have a buddy hold your legs and give you a boost if needed. You can always do push-ups from your knees and make sure your weight is perfectly centered or slightly on your heels for the air squats. To the Murph. DH Challenge Checklist. Wakey wakey, gratitudes, grounding footboard, miles, and the Murph. All right, top stories today. MLB is talking about expansion. They went over all the different cities, pros, cons, media market, everything. Great article in ESPN. I was going to get to that. We're not going to get to that. We'll get to that tomorrow. I want to take more time to be able to dive in and really come up with probably what should be the most desirable destination to go to if you're Major League Baseball. And you have to think about that, right? I mean, you have all these different cities and all these different options. But ultimately, MLB's got to do what's best for MLB. I will say this. Mexico City's a real option. I know it sounds crazy, but when we're talking about the fucking numbers that are there, and it'd be fun to see, say, one team go to Mexico City and another team go back to Montreal. I don't know if that's realistic. I don't know how many other hurdles because of the international flights and everything else that they would have to deal with, I think it'd be pretty easy. But just even the security and look, they play down there a bunch. So I think they know what to expect. The other thing about Mexico City, though, and this is a huge issue. Huge. It's at like fucking 9,000 feet. So you remember when the Giants went there a couple years ago? The over-under and the game was like 17 and a half. And they're going to be. So you're like, well, just make the fields bigger. Yeah, I get it. And I would love it as a hitter. But as a pitcher, you're like, dude, I'm pitching in the fucking Grand Canyon. So as much as it looks like a great destination because of the population of Mexico City, the willingness for them to do whatever it takes to get an MLB team there, I don't know if the players would approve it. But then again, I don't even know if the players would have a say in it. All right, this is the one big story that I wanted to get to today. Public enemy number one, Anthony Rendon. It says here he's making good points about MLB and its schedule. If Anthony Rendon's goal is to become the least liked player in baseball, he sure has been going about it in an efficient way. You'd think nobody would want to come to his defense right now. Well, you're wrong. Granted, nobody can say Rendon hasn't been stepping in it. As he failed to crack even 60 games for the third time in 3 years, last season would have been a rough one for him, even if he hadn't stirred up the controversy. Yet, he did just that, first by getting in an altercation with a fan, and then into a spat with the Los Angeles Angels over an injury diagnosis. The situation has bordered on toxic, wrote Sam Blum of The Athletic in December. It seemed like a succinct summary of the relationship between the Angels and the 33-year-old Rendon, whose $245 million contract still has 3 years and $115 million left on it. Holy shit. Wow. And then Rendon started talking. In January, there's a podcast interview in which he griped about there being too many dang games in Major League Baseball. The backlash was swift, with fans and even one former teammate coming down on the former All-Star and world champion. That was Jared Weaver, who had some things to say. Then on Monday, Rendon marked his arrival for spring training. You know what? Maybe it was Papelbon. It was Papelbon. Then on Monday, Rendon marked his arrival for spring training by telling the media that his baseball career, quote, has never been top priority, and thus did the dunking start anew. But on these two fronts, at least, it's fair to ask if anyone is actually listening to Rendon. All right, so it says here, Rendon actually does have his priorities in order. Google Anthony Rendon right now, and you'll be barraged with headlines zeroing in on the same quote about his priorities. Like it called attention to the above. It sounds bad. All right. Then again, so do a lot of things when stripped of context. Here's what Rendon actually said. This has never been a top priority. This is a job. I do this to make a living. My faith and my family come first before this job. So if those things come before it, I'll move on. All right, let's stop here. Anthony Rendon is a really good baseball player. Has been for a long time. Now, Rendon, All-Star, World Series champion, has been hurt and has been dealing with all sorts of things, whether it's the injury, and then that obviously leads to backlash from maybe some within the organization, the fan base of the Angels. Look, he's owed $115 fucking million. 115. So it's really difficult for the Angels to just walk away from this. Now, he did say some things that made sense. He's like, look, the Major League Baseball season is really, really long. And he's right. But the reason for it is that typically if you play 162 games, well, you get the best teams at the end of those 162 games, at least before the postseason starts. So there's reasoning behind the madness of this crazy long schedule. We also do know, as baseball players, this is what you fucking sign up for. When you become a professional baseball player, you know what you typically want to do? Play baseball. It's what we love. It's what we know. Now, Anthony Rendon may be different. This isn't his top priority. I think everybody could relate to that. Of course, your faith and your family are always going to come first. They should become before anything else in life. Your faith, your health, and your family need to be priority 1, 2, and 3. And so in that sense, at least in the faith and the family department, Anthony Rendon is absolutely correct. The problem is that he signed this massive contract and he's underperformed and he hasn't played. So when you say these things, it doesn't come across very well, not only to the fan base and not only to the organization, but to the dudes in the fucking clubhouse. So I would just caution him before he doubles down and triples down. There's a commitment that you make when you signed up for this job and when you put your name on that dotted line, regardless of the hundreds of millions, I don't give a fuck. That commitment is that I'm going to show up and I'm going to show out every day for the boys. These are my teammates. That matters. I used to always say, I don't give a shit what the fans think. I don't give a fuck what the front office thinks. I care what my coaches think. But you know where I really, 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 really care about? You know what matters to me most? Are what my teammates think. Fuck the opponents. I don't care what they think about me either. I hope they don't like me. That means I'm doing my job. But what my boys think about me, what the guys that I'm going to battle with, knowing that I have their back and they have my back, that matters. So when you look at this whole big picture with Anthony Rendon, that's the fucking thing that I look at and I'm like, ugh, that doesn't sit well. That said, hey, we here at No Filter Network, you think we're going to bitch and complain about somebody speaking the truth? That's all he's doing. He's telling us how he feels, and then we want to reprimand him for it. It's kind of like the George Kirby situation last year when he said, hey, man, pull me out of the game. I appreciate the honesty. I just feel like going forward, you can't take words back. Going forward, make it very clear what your commitment is. If you're owed $115 million or you're owed $15, I don't give a shit. But you put your name on that dotted line to put forth your absolute best effort to play Major League Baseball and help the Angels win baseball games. It's your job to do it. Now go out there and fucking do it. If he doesn't, and if this continues, Angels will walk. They don't give a shit. You'd much rather just move on. Hopefully they insured the contract to some extent, but you can't have that in the clubhouse. You just can't. It brings everybody else down. And by all accounts, Anthony Rendon's a great guy. I enjoyed my time around him. It was very limited. It was in a club in New York City, so there wasn't a whole lot of depth to the conversation. But look, you got a responsibility. And that responsibility, even if you want to say fuck off to the front office, even if you want to say fuck off to the fans, even if you want to say fuck off to any former teammates or any opponents, do not say fuck off to those guys in the locker room. Those guys matter. Those are your compadres. That's it. All right. Everyone have a fantastic day. The mountain is calling, like I said. I will be on at 11:15 a.m. I don't know if they go live. I think they do. 11:15 a.m., 2:15 Pacific time on the Foul Territory podcast. Scott Braun, AJ Przinski, I think Eric Kratz. It's a fantastic show. I'd love to get these guys on No Filter, but they're awesome. So check that out. I believe they have a YouTube channel where it is. And then I know it gets uploaded to Apple, Spotify, everything else. So, all right, everyone have a great day. We are back with the Daily Hustle tomorrow. And keep your eye out, too, for a potential DEUCES Wild special edition that pops up later tonight. That's it. See ya!